question I ask you. Let's go on. The church is an easy target. If you're coming from the left, you got your arguments, you got all the reasons. Oh, we're narrow-minded, we're closed-minded, we're insular, we're what's the word? Exclusivist, and on and on and on, And then if you're from the right, we sold out and we've compromised and we're worldly and we're following Willow Creek, and we're bringing in rock music, and both sides, there's aspects. But then the question is, where would you go? See, here's the thing. If there's just two teachings that you can't give up, let's just say for a minute, okay, because I've known a number of people who've left the Adventist church. And sometimes they become Jews because they can't give up the Sabbath. They give up Jesus, but they can't give up the Sabbath. I mean, tell me this isn't, people haven't gotten things a little screwed up. Okay? But let's just say you're convinced of the Sabbath and you're really not ready to join some church that teaches, that Jesus changed the Sabbath to Sunday. Or that, we keep Sunday in honor of the apostles changed it because Jesus was resurrected on Sunday. Or, let's just say that you can't do that. You know too much to do that. So you can't give up the Sabbath. Well, folks, if that's true, then guess what? What have you done? You have basically wiped out about 99% of all your other options. Okay? If you're really not ready to join some Sunday-keeping church, not that they really even, those that worship on Sunday, how many even really keep it? But let's just say you couldn't do that. You just know too much that you can't give that up. So you wiped out 99% of your options. Okay. Now, let's say you find Sabbath-keeping church. Okay? So you got 1% option left. Let's say you don't. You got 1% left. Let's say then that you know too much and you're really not ready to join a church that teaches, Grandma Jones is now in heaven looking down at me, because she just died and she's gone to heaven. Or that it's inconceivable to me because only Christianity I've ever dealt with is Adventism. It's inconceivable to me that these people actually believe that there's a hole in the ground. I mean, they really believe this, don't they? That there's some hole in the ground, that's hell, and that when bad people go, they go to this hole in the ground where Jesus burns them in hell right now for all eternity. I mean, there are people who really, really believe that, and I'm sorry. After having been an Adventist all these years, I could never believe that. And I like to think that most of us here, you couldn't do that. You could, with what we know about the state of the dead, you're going to believe they're floating up in heaven on a cloud, strumming a harp, watching it, or they're in some hole in the ground somewhere where they're burning for all eternity. So if you can't accept that, then pretty much, okay, the Sabbath you've wiped out pretty much 99% of your options. Okay, so you got 1% left. Okay, you got 1% left. I'm just throwing these numbers out, somewhat arbitrarily. And of the 1% left, now you got to find a church that doesn't teach the immortality of the soul and the immediate going to heaven or the immediate going to hell. And you've pretty much wiped out 99% of all of your 1% left. So the bottom line in the end is, what do you have left? And so can you see a parallel now between an Adventist today who's fed up, and maybe we've got some good reasons for being fed up, as you would be with a Jew if you lived in the first temple period or the second temple period. Now, I'm not saying, the differences between Yahwism of ancient Israel and the pagan nations around them, not say the difference between Adventism and whether it's Presbyterianism or whether you're a Baptist or some of the evangelicals. Some of the evangelicals have got some pretty good stuff, but they're off on two crucial things. I'm not saying the difference between the religion of ancient Israel and the religion of Judaism was as radically different as, say, the religion of Adventism today and the religion of the other Protestant denominations. It's not the same. But the difference is so clear. It's so distinct. It's so sharp on these major, major points that we're really not left with any other viable option. Can you see the point? Can you see that if you can't give up these two things, what's left? In other words, the truth. I believe God's truth all through the ages has stood out so clearly, so sharply, in such great contradistinction between everything else that it wasn't fuzzy. It wasn't fuzzy. It wasn't, well, it's almost, it stands